Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Raymond J. Negron with Beyond Failure to Reach Success, and I am a guide from the side. So, what I want to discuss today, but first, the thing that I do is to help, my purpose is to help people find their purpose. So, in saying that, what I want to discuss today is most people say, when I ask them a question, what do you want in life? They go, you know what? Man, I don't know. Right? No one says, you know what? I exactly know. I want this. Some people will say that. I've actually had some high performers who know exactly what they want. But then other people, they don't know what they want, right? They have an I know and I don't know, and that I don't know wins more often than the I know, because the I don't know gives you power of not knowing, and it creates an inaction, and it makes it okay that, you know what, I don't know. So you're stuck in a sanctuary of not knowing, of that it's okay to not know, of that it's comfortable, and you know what, everybody else doesn't know, so it's okay that I don't know, right? And when you get stuck in the I don't know, you lose power, you lose direction, you lose sight, you lose insight, you lose things around you that don't help you and that don't move you forward. They keep you in sameness, right? Have you ever felt like insaneness? I feel like I got to put my hat on, so I will. But when you're in sameness, you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I say insameness because it's like the word insane. What do they say? The definition of insanity is doing the thing over and over and over and over and over again and over again and over again and over again, and expecting different results. But when you make powerful agreements, right, with yourself, with your vision, with your clarity, with your engagement, with your deeper consciousness, which is your true self, is when you make change. And I'm trying to fix this camera, darn it. I have my Arte shirt on, but the thing is that when you say I don't know, it's okay. Everybody else doesn't know around me. And then you allow yourself to just be who you are, which is in I don't know land. And when you don't know, it's okay, because everybody else around you doesn't know either. And it's okay. Now, when you say I now know, I'm certain, I'm 100% certain, I know exactly what I want. I know my vision. I know where I want to go, right? And let me preface with, like your journey in life, it's not a distant shore, right? It's not a distant shore. It's not like I have to get there. But those in life look at their journey as a guiding star. Like they know where they want to go, but they don't know what's going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen once they reach that level of what they want in their life, because they've never been there. But when you get there, you see it from a new perception, a new way of being, of like, wow, I never thought it would be like this, right? And then, but you have new insights and new takeaways, and then you reach your next level. But when you create the I don't know, right? And as a past salesman, I would ask you, when someone says I don't know to me, and I'm going to ask you now, because I'm asking you, what do you want to achieve in this great life? What are the goals that you want to achieve in this one great life that you're living right now? That you're powerfully showing up and choosing to do one thing over what your heart is telling you, what your heart intelligence is telling you, what your heart consciousness is telling you, what you feel, not what you think and what you know. And because logic will dictate your directions, emotions will change you, right? To survey the land and create a compass on where you want to go. Like your heart really knows, right? It has I'm not going to go into the vibrational aspect of the heart. I read up so much on this stuff, makes me crazy. But the thing is, I love when people really make a gut like reaction, not a gut reaction, but a gut action into what they know. They align that with the feeling that they have, right? So what do you want to achieve this year in 2020, right? Think about that. What do you want to achieve in the year 2020 concurrently? I'm asking you, what do you want to achieve? What would it be like if you achieved that? What would it feel like? What would you smell? What would you see? What would you taste? getting there, right? It's not a destination, it's a guiding star. And what's the next step that you could take right now if you knew and you were completely clear? Because when people tell me I don't know, I'm like, well, if you did know, right? I just had this conversation earlier. I believe I've had this conversation like 5 times this week. It's funny. If you did know and you were completely clear about what it is for you, what would it be? If you had to know, right? Because you spent the last, whatever, say you're 40 years old, you spent the last 39 years not knowing. And what has that gotten you? That has gotten you in sameness. But Ray, you don't understand my situation. Situations are bad. Well, what do I need to understand? What I need to understand is you don't want to be there. You're choosing to be there. You've made the free will and choice, because we are in America, guys, to be where you're at. Own that. Be 100% responsible for where you're at in life. Because you need to own that, man. Because you can't go anywhere else if you don't own where you're at. You can think you're going to go there, but you need to create the person that you want to become to get you to where you want to go. So when you don't say, I don't know, let me ask you, what if you did know? And you were completely clear. And you were honestly and completely clear, and you had to choose a direction today. What would that be for you? What drives you? What gives you passion? What gives you energy? What do you want to do? Right? And then when you get into the no, I now know, right? You light up. You're a little wider. You probably stand a little taller, a little prouder, a little more. You have intuitiveness. You have an intelligence, because now you know the direction of where you want to go. Let me tell you, just because you go somewhere, right, doesn't mean it might, the rudder might take you a little bit off path before you get there, right? You got to deal with the weather. You got to deal with obstacles. You got to deal with one door closing, another one opening, that door closing again, another door opening. But you know what? As long as you navigate, as long as you keep that energy, right, eventually you'll get there and beyond that, right? And the word beyond is just transformation. Beyond is like a beyond shape, a transformation, a transform, which is this a shape reforming itself. And you may be enlightened on the way where you want to go to journey somewhere else, man. So I'm just encouraging you, empowering you, inspiring you to get in the know, to get in the I now know. I now know. And if you could say those 3 words, I now know, what would it be for you? Really think about that, right? So most entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, business adventurers are people that I work with, people who want to leave their 9 to 5, 9 to 9. I used to work 9 to like midnight, right, in other jobs. But they want to work for themselves. They want to build the bridge to that life. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen in instant life. It happens in time, and it happens in increments. It happens with doing things on the way and building up the reps. Your reputation is repetition. Repetition is reputation. And you get in the know by doing, right? I get in the know by doing these, I almost said Instagram, but YouTube Live, right? You get in the know because I'm teaching you something to empower yourself, to inspire your one great life wherever you're at, right? To build that bridge to your dreams. I have these sayings that flow with what we're talking about. Bruce Tolkien says, I have no idea who Bruce Tolkien is, nothing gets done unless somebody does it, right? So when you're in the know, nothing gets done unless somebody does it. Now you got to do it, right? I don't know what I want to do. Okay, well, get to knowing. What can you do to empower yourself to get to knowing? When you're young, you got to try a lot of things. When you get older, you got to pick something and just go with it, because you already know, you already have the experience to figure out exactly what it is you want to do. For me, I love guiding people. I thrive off it. My energy is so driven to help people get where they want to get because I feel it from the inside out. I feel it because I'm present. And my purpose brings other people's purpose to the table. And we dissect that purpose and we look at it. And is this truly the purpose that we want to work with and mold and shape to get you where you want to go? Awesome. Let's do it. Are you excited about it? Energy will either shift or drop, which will be a telltale sign of where we want to go and what we want to do and what inspires us and what empowers us. And there will be fear there. Fear is a part of it. Fear and courage work together to motivate you, man, and inspire you to become confident. It's a driver. That's it. So own it and feel it. Also, another saying by Mr. Abraham Lincoln: it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. Let me read that again. It's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. Awesome. I know what I'm doing inspires people. I know it's going to take time. I know it's going to take probably a lot of time before people discover what I have behind this, because it's truth. Everybody discovers truth, right? Everybody discovers what their truth is. What's your truth? This is by Confucius. I used to call him Confucius because when I read his stuff, like I have no idea what this old ancient Asian man is saying to me. I don't know if he was Asian. I think he was though. I know he had the scrolls. I read these analytics. I think it was written by Confucius. Some of it confused me. Some of it I was like, rocks, dude. And it's even prevalent to now. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall, right? That's not confused. I know exactly what that means. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. And I want to add, no matter what. No matter what. It's okay to be down, man. It's okay to be down. It's okay to fall on the ground and have to pant a little bit and have to earn the breath back, right? And earn the ability of that everything is still working no matter what. Gotta rise again, man. I've been there. I had breakdowns. Remember when I lived in Williamsburg, Brooklyn? I had my first nervous breakdown in a building when the BQE was right next to, shaking my building to bits. I literally see pieces of flex falling off because I couldn't figure out my direction in life. And it bothered me. It literally, I think my mental capacity, I had a TV on the wall. One day that thing crashed on the floor and it was like the epitome of everything that was going on in my life. And I had to make a decision. That decision took time. That decision took pain. That decision took suffering. That decision took me to get back on my feet and get a passion again. And I felt for a while, right? But I'm rising. I'm rising, guys, and I want you guys to rise too. Think about this one. This is by Mark Twain. Hopefully, necessity is the mother of taking chances. The mother of taking chances. I almost couldn't read my handwriting. Necessity is the mother of taking chances. Mark Twain, my man. It's necessary to take chances. It's necessary to test things out. It's necessary to get experiential learning in what you want to do, right? A hammer to an anvil, right? When you're trying to figure things out, you got to rub against reality, right? You got to figure things out. Sometimes these things are painful, right? Some people go to college. Oh, I want to be this. I want to be that. And they go to school all the way. And then they discover that that job absolutely sucks. And then what do? They say, you know what? I paid all this money. I had a guest of mine, right? And I call guest clients, client guests, but they're guests. You're a guest in my house. And he was a lawyer. And he was explaining, like, I almost said his name, can't, but he wasn't happy in what he was doing. But he had all this debt from going to school for that. And that leveraged him to continue down the path that he hated. And don't do that. Don't make that same mistake, right? We are in the world where we can get exactly what we want online in concentrated bursts. So a lot of entrepreneurs online that are teaching exactly what you need. You only need to know this much to get ahead. You really do. So think about that. Like, do some deep thinking, right? It's necessary to take chances. It really is. So now Winston Churchill, right? If I didn't take chances, I would never be guiding people. I would never have a good, thriving coaching business, which I do have. And it's going to grow because I'm going to multiply myself. But if I decided never to do YouTube lives, never to do IG lives, never, have people I don't care, make fun of me. Please, leave a comment below, make fun of me. I'll say, what's up, love you, back. Anyway, Winston Churchill had a great saying, success Success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Success is walking failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. No loss. Winston Churchill said that. And I want to read his biography. I briefly heard that there was a time in his life when he was so depressed, he was literally, I think, wandering around England, right? Because you can't leave the island, can you? I mean, it's a big island, I guess. But he was just depressed. He was just going house to house. I guess he was like beyond himself with the things that he was dealing with at the time. He was just wandering, man, trying to figure it out, going on a walkabout like the Australians do to figure things out. So, guys, ladies, everybody, start saying, I know. I now know. And then empower that. I would even write it on the top of a piece of paper. I now know. Or if I didn't know, what would it be for me? If I did know, what would it be for me? Let me clarify that. If I did know, what would it be for me? What would it be for me? I have to know today. I now know. What is it? And I want you to pick a path and start moving towards it. Stop guessing. Or maybe inquire. Do a little research and development on the things that you're thinking about, right? If you like plants, right? Go out and start talking to florists, or whatever they're called, florists, and inquire. Maybe work for a florist. Maybe see if it's something you want to do. What's it like to own this? If you want to work for a museum of flowers or like a butterfly sanctuary, right? Maybe inquire, work in the butterfly sanctuary, get an internship, see what jobs and positions. You'd be amazed what's out there that you could do. You might be the guy or gal who orders specific types of butterflies out of the thousands that there are, I'm sure. And you're the one who gets to specifically pick the ones and understand why they subexist together and that some can only be here at this time. Or, it may just literally like open up your mind and expose things that you could never even imagine. Imagine knowing that. Imagine what that would be like, right? About literally once the brain expands, it never contracts, right? And think about that. Think about that, right? Like, imagine, right? You go to a butterfly, and it'd be funny if someone actually does it. But it would be, I think it'd be awesome. But whatever it is, man, you want to own a restaurant, you want to own a coffee shop, or you want to do something that's outside of the norm, do it, man. Do it. Do it. And do it. And do it. I had this funny idea, and I'll put it out there. Like, I remember I thought this, there's massage therapists. I thought it was something silly. Like, what about someone who just scratches, man? Like putting together like someone where you have, it's just called scratch. You just get scratched for 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Something funny and silly. Who knows? You don't know until you know. You know what I mean? And I would love everybody to start being in the know now. Don't wait for your life, man. Right? And if you're waiting to feel motivated, I'm waiting to feel inspired, waiting to do this, I'm waiting to do that, I don't know. Well, guess what? Time's just going to go by. Time's going to say, you know what? What's up, dude? You're going to get older. Happened to me. I got older. I finally figured out exactly what I want to do. Finally. Took a lot of time, right? And now I'm 40 and doing this. Pretty amazing. I feel amazing. I feel inspired. I feel enthusiastic. I feel passionate, right? I love it. And when I get to talk to someone, it just fills me up with pride. And when their energy level is with my energy level and we're just building energy, impossibility happens, man. I am possible. You know what I mean? Some famous actress said that. I think Steve Weatherford said that, that I am possible, right? Impossible becomes I am possible. I am possible. And when you start recreating your belief system behind you know what? I do know. I know and I am completely clear. Write it down. Pink. I like pink, whatever. Start writing things down for yourself and see what you could do about it, right? Because we all have more power than we think. We just believe differently. And you know what? When you make excuses, you're only as sick as your excuses, man. And you keep saying them over and over again. Guess what? Just created your world, man. I don't care where you are in life, man. Doesn't matter. What matters is the energy that you put in, the energy, the work, the love, what you do at the highest peak, right? Always have good energy behind what you do. Good intentions, intentional, intention. You're holding things in tension, right? Sometimes I have ideas and I don't tell everybody about my ideas because I like to hold them in tension. I like to create around it. If I start free flowing my ideas, which is good. I think it's great to tell people your ideas if you don't know when someone's going to help you. But sometimes in the inkling, right, when I'm getting like literally like a pen inkling in my mind and the ink is just starting to form and nothing's been created, no vision or anything, I have to let it bask. I have to let it sit. I have to let it steam. I have to let it trickle. And then we figure out exactly what that is. And then I start creating it. Then once I start creating it, I create a rough draft in my mind, rough visualization in my mind. And then once I do a few iterations of it, then I can hatch it out to the world and say, hey, what do you guys think about this? Right? It doesn't have to be perfect either, because perfection is just an excuse to not do a damn thing, isn't it? Oh, I got to wait till it's perfect. You know, it's about you're just failing. That's it. You must try things. You must get in the know. And I hope that's helped you. Raymond J. Negron with Beyond Failure to Reach Success. I'm a guide from the side, and I hope this has inspired you, moved you, just vibrated my computer. Take care.